Hey folks, how's it going? Got the front bumper mounted back on and the fog lights back into position and got them wired up. Everything's done as far as wiring goes for now. So we're basically all set to go there. I might tie a few things off with cable ties just to tighten it up a little bit. But yeah, that part's going good. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarts of ATF in, and I think that's good enough to get it started. Oil's topped off. It's been cranked over. I think I'm gonna throw a little gas in the car tank and make sure the fuel pump's pumping and get gas up to the carb, and then I'm gonna throw the spark plugs in and get the spark plug wires wired up, get that taken care of, and see what I need to do for spark plug wire holding looms. I might invest in a couple of those just to keep things straight in here. Well, I went ahead, put my back brakes back together and stuck the drums on, and what I'm going to do is keep the 4-lug wheels and tires and stuff, even though they're really old. I'm not going to romp on it or anything, but I'm just going to put the tires and wheels that I had on it back on and to get it running and driving. And once I've got that part shaken out and debugged, then I am going to go with the coil over A-arms up here, and kind of dark under there. It's really dark under there. Yeah, the front suspension I want to upgrade to coil over tubular A-frames and 5 lug hubs and new wheels and tires. But that has kind of become a phase 2 of this project. So we're going to have to I want to get it running, driving with the new powertrain first, and then we'll go from there. And got my shifter going with the B&M Z-Gate shifter. It's got the big black console on the bottom part with the chrome on the top, and I'm thinking, well, let's take a look and see what exactly we got to work with here. Okay, got my instructions, decals. You'll notice there. Looking at this part, and what I might do is actually mask this off and paint this rough part black so that that part shows a little better. It's not an illuminated one, so at night you'd have to kind of just go by feel for what you got to work with there. Here's the handle, hardware pack, micro switch pack. I am going to relay those micro switches. That's the backup light switch and the backup light and neutral safety switch on there. Yeah, okay. And we got the actual console part. And some more hardware. And an empty box. And the cable. Let's clip this off. Now, here's the one thing I wanted to check out. Oops. Yeah, that's not good for it, but... How tall in the car is this going to be? And where is it going to go? Not going to work. See, that's got to come back. That's got to come back. So I'm going to relocate my parking brake back further on the console and then move this back to about here. And actually, I might drop it down into the console a little bit because it's so tall. I don't need it that tall. What I'd like to do is get it to about that high. So, lots of clearance between the top of the tunnel and the top of the transmission to do that. Let's get this moved first. That's what I need to do. And in the meantime, this is just going to sit and wait. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to have to, the parking brake's going to have to go back as far as I can get it. I'll still have good leverage and everything. I'll still be able to grab the handle just fine from the driver's seat here. The shifter is definitely going to have to get dropped down into the tunnel. And I think what I'm going to do here, this is the part, that sits on top. And that's what you trim to fit. And I'm going to build a box that'll drop down in there and mount this inside that box. And that should be, well, I can bring it down to the point where this is actually flush, or, the top of the console will be here. Now, what I want to do is actually build a full-length insert here, wood grain, black vinyl sides, something like that, with an armrest over the parking brake. We'll see what we can do there, or armrest coming out with a slot maybe for the brake handle to come up in. But yeah, I don't want it any further forward than that. I mean, that's where my hand handle would be. That's in park right now. And, you know, we can basically get it back all the way to crank it back there and shift it. But yeah, we're going to drop that down, I think. It's looking like it needs a little bit of... I want to center it. I'm going to get my parking brake centered. That never was. Kind of funky there. But then the console, I'm basically going to have it come forward here and come up, and I'll put this down on top of whatever I fabricate to go a piece of wood or ply, 1/4 inch oak plywood or something through there. And maybe even do something fancy with come up the angle there. But yeah, it's happy with the shifter. Shifter's fine. It's just where I need to put it is kind of an issue. Okay, I got the parking brake moved back as far as I could get it. The original mounting holes are right there. Oops. There we go. You can see, and basically all I did was turn the pulling rod around to turn it into a pushing rod, and got the geometry set up there. So that's, I mean, I'm engaging, getting that engaged right there. So it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to fall off. It's I've got a little bit of adjustment available there, and so seriously, looks like it's going to work. Made myself a little plate here to fill in the opening, so it's not quite so big. And yeah, I'll just seam sealer that down or something there. We're going to call that a win, because I now have room for my shifter box. Lots of room for the shifter. Of course, it's not going to be that high. I'm going to cut this off right about here. Drop that down. Well, this hole right here goes down onto that bracket right down there. But this whole thing here, I'm going to drop down so that these are just about an inch or so above the transmission tunnel here, so that I'll have just about that much of this coming up over the top. And I'm actually thinking of making a piece of wood trim to fill the entire console up, and we'll see how that goes. So, talk to you soon. Okay, got my shifter box built. Basically just some angle iron with some sheet aluminum siliconed onto it. Get it nice and waterproof, watertight. And here's the shifter. This will actually go down in there, something like that. And let's see, the chrome top here is going to go on something like this. Not quite that low. Actually might be up about here. And with that cover, might even have to raise it up a little. But let's see how it looks when I drop it in to the hole that I cut in the console, or in the transmission tunnel. And I like that. I think that's gonna work just dandy. Yeah. Let's climb in and see how it's gonna feel. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That'll be good. I can even bring it back a little bit. Bring it all the way back further than that. A little bit more. Bring it back here. Yeah. There. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And I even have room down in there for my relays, for my starter solenoid. And the cable's got to go out. I think I could probably drop the relays in. Yeah, they'll both fit on that side. Down in there. Backup light, and I'm going to put relays on the backup light and the reverse, because these micro switches here are a little fragile. So yeah, I can get that in there. Super. I like it. It's gonna work. So, one of the reviews I read on this particular shifter was that the micro switches aren't up to carrying a lot of current. So, I happen to have a couple extra relays here. There we go. And got those wired in, but I had to sit down and actually figure out, made myself a wiring diagram from so that I could figure out how to wire these in. I'm going to draw my power from the backup light circuit through the switches and to trip the relays, and then just use the one relay for the backup lights, and then the other one will just simply run the starter solenoid wire through that one for the neutral safety switch. And that should work. Okay, I got the shifter mounted in my box, and I got a lot of the relays are partially wired up. Those will fit down in this area here real nice. And my cover, which holds the chrome bezel, goes in here and fits just like that. And I did have to raise the front of the shifter up a little bit because this cable was a little bit low on that hole right there. And but this is ready to drop in and mount, hook up to the transmission. So we're good to go on that, but it took all night. So we'll have to just keep on going here. Okay, got the holes drilled and countersunk from my self-tapping flathead screws here. Now I just got to drop it in the console and screw it down. And we should be good to go. That'll keep it just fine. And I got the shifter in. And she's all set to go, and I think it's going to work just fine. Backup lights work. I still have to wire up the neutral safety switch. It's that pink and orange wire right there. but just have to run those up to under the dashboard where I have a connection to make. You kitty. Of course, Pebbles is down here keeping me company, aren't you? Want to say hi? Oh, you're shy. You're being shy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay. And so we're going with that. So, as always, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I think I got enough content here to put out another video. And thanks for watching. Well, I decided that rather than have the air filter knocking around on the bench, I might as well get it on the car. So I found myself the piece of threaded rod I needed and cut it to length and got it on there. And I'm in good shape height-wise. And that'll give it lots of breathing capacity. So it should sound good.